Blake Lively decided to defame me to the judge while I'm on vacation? Oh, you know, Nate and I got to break this down. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and yeah, no, Blake Lively is not wrecking my vacation buzz. I got my drink in hand. I got Nate the lawyer by my side. You are not winning this one, girl. But my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I called this, Nate. I told
You
Kim. I
did
told my
call it.
audience. I'm like, no doubt that Blake Lively is going to try to hamper my buzz. She probably is hearing I'm on vacation. She's obsessed with us. She's going to try to file some nonsense. And lo and behold, Nate, can we pull it up? Kim's behind the scenes. Shout out to Kim for making this happen while I'm on vacation. Can we pull up this document? What is this, Nate? Can you explain to the audience what we're looking at?
Well, it seems to be a letter to the judge. Complaining about some of the discovery things that are going on. But here it seems like they're asking the judge for a little bit more leeway. And as an example, they're saying that we are part of the scheme to essentially this behind the scenes scheme to hurt her credibility and stuff in the public, and they wanted to use something that Andy said recently as proof of our continued help of Baldoni in his lawsuit, right? That's essentially what this is.
Yes, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. It's a little bit of delay because I'm in island time here as I'm trying to talk to Nate. But we'll get to the whole time because the whole thing is messed up because they imply there's some weird list that we were all on being paid by Blake, it seems, and I'll get there. But let's get to the real issue. Yeah, so back to that paragraph. There's a paragraph specifically where they call out Popcorn Planet. Do you mind reading that for the audience, Nate, while I sip my nice drink?
All right, so I think we have to. Well, we go down a little bit more to the next page, right there at the top. So it says Wayfair parties allege a smear campaign. So that's essentially what we're talking about. One subpoenaed content creator even went as far as to record a call with a receptionist from Miss Lively's attorney's office without express consent, and then posted the recording on YouTube. See Popcorn Planet, and I love the title. It's real. We call Blake Lively's lawyer. They lied to us. So now the next sentence is where it gets kind of crazy. This content creator further used the recording to make false inflammatory remarks, not defamatory, but false inflammatory remarks about Miss Lively and her counsel, and is seeking to fundraise based on the recording and his remarks. Bottom line is that the concern about being hamstrung is being able to tie her discovery to the Wayfair party. Discovery responses further exacerbates public backlash against Miss Lively, which she should not have to endure when there is no conceivable privacy targets that TAG and others are producing. Now, essentially, what they're complaining about, what they're trying to make, the argument they're trying to make, is that in California is what's known as a two-party record state. So that's why if you ever get a phone call from some
there's a footnote, Kim. If you want to show the footnote at the bottom, they allege it's a criminal act. Go ahead while you're explaining that, Nate. Just scroll down that footnote because they're alleging me of being a criminal right there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so this is the footnote that Andy's talking about. It says recording confidential communications without the consent of all parties is a crime in California where the receptionist is based. And that's usually, it's not who's making the call, but who's receiving the call where the law is usually actualized. So it's not who's making the call. So if I'm in a state where it's a one-party state and I'm calling someplace that's a two-party state, I have to follow their rules. Now, if you ever got a call from any telemarketer, which I know everyone has, right? You pick up that phone call and the first thing they say, hey, we're on a recorded line, just to let you know. And then they go into this spiel. Now, you have one option. As soon as they tell you things are being recorded, you can say, hey, I want you to stop the recording, and I don't want to record this long, or they can hang up.
I don't consent.
Or I don't consent to the phone call, right? To the recording. Then you got to stop recording and everything. So as long as you tell them, I am recording and this is on the record, then you are told, then their implied consent is to continue in a conversation. Because if you don't want to be recorded, then hey, I'm going to hang up the phone, or at least going to tell you personally that I don't want to do it. So that seems to be their beef. But
Nate,
there's a lot back to the story that we haven't talked about. Go ahead.
Hold on, wait, Nate. They're saying I didn't get permission, and they have to say that they give permission to be on the phone. No, Nate.
Well, do we have the clip?
Yeah, hi, sorry, I just keep getting a bunch of voicemails. My name is Andy Signore. I'm on a recorded line just trying to get on the record whether I was subpoenaed via Google by you guys. There's a lot of creators. We're all just trying to understand if this is real or if it's not.
Which says very clearly in the beginning, hi, Andy Signore. I'm calling on a recorded line. I'm here to get a on the record comment about my confusion, because that's what's so frustrating about all of this. The background, Nate, which you know, they lied to you, and I want to get you now on the record confirming that, because you spoke to them twice and they lied to your face. And what did I tell you, Nate? I'm like, I don't trust them. I want to get something on the record. Can they email it? And then I said, can I call? Can I record it? And you said, as long as you tell them you're recording, yada, yada. I did it all on the up and up because I didn't believe them. And now they're proving why I didn't believe them. But Nate, just express that. Did you not call this office? Did they not tell you it was a phony?
They did. So just so everybody understands what's going on, Andy has given me permission to explain this to you guys. So myself and Andy were interested in, because we had got conflicting reports. Google was saying at one point it was the subpoena was real. Then some other sources were saying it wasn't real, and it became a real just kind of cloud on whether the subpoena that Blake Lively and her attorney sent to Google, was that a real thing, or was that just a phishing expedition to get personal information? So we were trying to figure that out, because it didn't make sense for us to now fight something that wasn't real, because again, that's just more money and more time and effort that we don't want to spend. So on behalf of Andy, I was like, well, listen, I'll call this location that's on the Google subpoena, just to find out. Now, Google, before that happened, Google had actually reached back out and said, hey, this is real. You call that number. So I called the number and asked, okay, hey, listen, this is kind of what's going on. This is, we have the subpoena right now. There's conflicting whether it's real or not. They initially said there are so many other content creators calling. We don't know what this thing is. We don't believe it's real. We don't know why people are doing it. We're being flooded with calls. And then I point blank asked them, is this real? I need to know, because I have a client. And I said, and I even asked, could I speak to the attorney? Because I need to know if this is real or not. They said, it's not real. She doesn't believe it's real. That's essentially it. And they'll give more information to us. Call back later. So I hung up, and then me and Andy had a conversation. Now, Andy, Mr. I don't trust anybody, was like, I don't trust this at all. So I said, you know what? Let me go back. Let's just make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's, because I had got the person's first name, but I said, you know what? Let's make sure we get this correct. So I called back and I asked, first name, last name, your title at the company, and the specific question, is this real? Again, we got the same exact story. So many people calling, blah, blah, blah. She said, this is not real. We don't understand why this is happening. We think it's just somebody just playing games, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got that. So then I went and spoke to Andy again. Hey, Andy, I got the name, got the number, got the title, everything. And Andy said, I still don't trust him. I said, you don't trust him? So he was like, can you record it? Now, Andy is correct. We then had a conversation about that. And then Andy said, well, I would like to call myself and put these people officially on the record, so we know for a fact if some games are being played, because we don't want to be in a situation where we're saying, hey, is this real? And they tell us no, and they come to find out it is. Then Andy calls.
I'll share one. And then it happens. You guys watch the tape. Go watch the video. I'm not hiding anything. It's all there. But what I loved is after I sent it to Nate, Nate goes, man, I'm so glad you recorded that phone call. Because it was shady as hell, right, Nate? It's shady as hell what they're doing. And so it was shady then, and now to get to the root of it, as you just read it, they're literally trying to taint the judge, to paint me as this bully, this harasser who's a criminal. Now, I'm floored, Nate. Like, this woman and this lawyer are despicable. And it's proving one again more. And sorry if I sound like I have a list. It's not the alcohol. It's the bandwidth, because I'm on a vacation as I rant in my list, except for in my last video. I'm just floored that they're allowed to do this. But I've been told they can, because we're in some sort of weird litigation phase. Is this true? So I can't even sue her for defamation on this?
No, and to be honest, the defamation claim, you wouldn't be able to do it, because again, there's like a litigation privilege and things of that nature that you gotta have to. So a lot of this stuff is just going to go by the wayside. But one thing I will say is that this is all tactics, right? She's trying to, remember, her whole argument in this thing is that there's a big conspiracy that you, Candace Owens, and all these people are a part of. You're on Baldoni's payroll, and Baldoni is trying to destroy her reputation in public. But to do that, she wants to, she's trying to throw these little pop shots. Look, he's lying about us. He's this, he's that. But obviously we're going to respond in kind. But the simple fact of the matter is that, think about this, people. Her attorney has sent out subpoenas to Google, and some people even saying on X, for YouTubers' personal information. And when people call the attorney, where it said call these people on the line, they're telling people they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what any subpoenas. That's extremely shady, right? And now come to find out it's real, right? Those subpoenas are real. That's what they were supposed to do. So now they've been caught essentially in this big lie. The fact that they've been telling people, we don't know anything about this. We don't know what people are talking about. And now find out that not only should they have known, but they were the ones who sent it out. They're the ones who asked for it.
Because I want to wrap it up because I don't want to keep this too long. But do you think they were nervous when I posted that, and this is their response to try to get ahead of it? Because clearly they watched that video. Clearly it unnerved them. Do you think there was a little bit of, oh shit, this guy got us, so let's beat him to the punch and try to paint him as a bad? Which it's shocking too. There's people in this community who are fighting the good fight, who are out there trying to call me messy, unprofessional. It is shameful. Some of these fellow creators, and I'm not going to name them by names, but it's just shameful how quick they'll turn and seemingly support Blake in this when I did nothing. That call was so professional, so calm, and I have every right to ask those questions because we were all confused. Some of those same content creators calling me messy or unprofessional were saying it was fake to begin with. We all were so confused. That's why I called. So it's so shady. Do you think they were nervous because I did post it and I did catch them not being aware of what was actually going on?
Yeah, yes, because let's not forget, those are the content. Whoever's upset about this is just being dumb. Because let's not forget, these on the subpoena itself in the notice from Google, it said call this number and to get more information. We called the number. They said we don't know what you're talking about. We called 3 times and they said they don't know. Matter of fact, on the call that you made, they said they don't know what you're talking about. And now, come to find out, guess what? They should have known because they're the ones who sent it out. So so again, they're embarrassed and they watched that video instead of saying, "Hey, we messed up. We should have been able to say." Number one, you tell your receptionist, if you don't know, just say you don't know, call back and we'll get it. But number 2 is that when they did say something, each and every time it was consistent. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't know where these things are from. And now we know those were all lies. Or, well, at worst, they're lies. At best, they're just mistruths from someone who's ignorant that didn't say. But in both situations, that could have hurt us. That could we could have missed the deadline. Hey, they told us it was untrue, right? And now we're going to be so this was a horrible misstep on there, and I think they're highly upset because we got them. We got well, to be fair, you got them. You got them. And I think at the end of the day, it shows how desperate they are for just any little thing. They're super desperate. But to be very, very clear, on that call, at the beginning of that call, Andy made it very, very, very clear. He was recording it, why he was recording it, and for the fact that they have been giving us conflicting answers all throughout the day, we wanted to pin them down and say, we need to make sure that what you're saying now is consistent with what you said before, and just in case we're asked by a judge, why didn't you do this, or why did they tell you, we can say, here, this is what they told us. They don't know nothing about it, but yet they still want our stuff.
And I posted it also so other creators could be informed. So it's shocking to see some of the bats. I mean, it was limited, but from some big creators, the backlash I got, I saw some of the comments they were making. Shame on them. Why are we fighting? It makes no sense why we're fighting in this community. We're all in the same cause. And that's what I feel like Blake was trying to do. And I do want to wrap up, but the other thing to mention is how they're calling out my fundraising. It's like, I'm sorry, excuse me? You subpoenaed me. You think it's free to respond to a subpoena? Oh, Andy's grifting. Oh my God. Like, thank gosh, Nate's pro bono and a friend who's helping me do this, but the other lawyer is not. Nate knows this, and I don't want to get in that, and they'll come on, but we are going to pay them, of course, part of the funds. The documentary is not free either. These are actual costs that I've been very transparent about. I've delivered trailers and things. I'm not here to justify. I'm just remarking at how petty and weird some people are out there. And the fact that she brought up my fundraising, Nate, I can't. I
No,
can't
but
even believe how desperate they're being. Like, girl, you subpoenaed
she's a
me,
billionaire. No, you know what?
and you have endless resources. I know it seems like I got a lot, but I'm at a cheap place somewhere, not disclosing so she doesn't subpoena me. It's a great view, but my God, it's not Ryan Reynolds' view. Girl, just because I can once in a while get out my fam doesn't mean I got Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile money. These people are delusional, Nate. Can you believe she brought that up?
It's sad because the reason why I'm involved pro bono is specifically this, to whole cut down costs, cut through all the BS, because generally you'd have the attorneys who are working with this to actually make this call. But since we got word from Google that this may be fake, and since we got word from other creators this may be fake, we were like, well, why spend a lawyer $300, $400, $500 an hour to make this same call to try to figure this out when I can make this call? And because we kind of figured, we were being told it was fake, and now to know it was real is the thing. So we're trying to save money and be responsible with the money that you give us. And that's the part where I think they'll never understand.
Two subpoenas, yeah. Don't forget. Not one, two subpoenas now we're fighting. So I will promote my Ghost Gifts and Go again, happily. It'll be in the comment. Sorry, Blake, I guess we hit a nerve. Maybe you're running out of money? Is that why she's... Man, maybe, my God, we are costing her so much money by doing this, but I didn't do any of this. She did it. She brought me into it. She brought all our creators in, and I urge every creator to do their right and get a lawyer, get a consult, and do what's fair. You are allowed to push back. You are allowed to make it harder on them. They do not just get our information easily, and you are not hamper my buzz. Look at this view. I'm going to enjoy this drink. I'm going to go back to it without any worries whatsoever. I get to monetize while on vacation now. Thanks to you, Blake, bringing this in and defaming me. We will have an official response from our lawyer on the docket this week, so stay tuned. And I may come back again just to read that. Nate, you're welcome to join as well. But Nate, I salute you. Cheers to you. I owe you drinks. You are the best. Yeah, go ahead. Final thought, Nate.
There's one thing I want to say before we get out of here. If you look at the docket, there was somebody who objected to one of the subpoenas anonymously. And yes. I just want to let all you content creators know, this is a doxing campaign also, in my opinion. And what do I mean by that? If they send your stuff to Google and say, hey, we're subpoenaing this stuff because of this reason, then it forces that person to say, hey, for instance, Andy is Popcorn Planet. We all know that. So he can respond, hey, I'm Andy from Popcorn Planet. But if you are a YouTuber who doesn't put your name out there, who just is behind the account, this is a way where you'd have to say, hey, my name is Jennifer from this account. This is where I live. And it's a way to dox you publicly. So there's also that risk to it too. So I do want to let everybody understand, they're playing the long game here, and be careful with that.
I want to shout out. I don't know what that person's shared, so I'm not going to share them by name, but shout out to that person who's in the docket fighting back. They're doing an impressive job. I salute you and support you. And anybody else who's out there, if you're having struggling or whatever, just reach out. I don't know if I can help you, legally, I can at least try to help you get on the track to find someone. So please don't be afraid. Do not back down from these bullies. We all are stronger together. Do not let them win. Do not let them dox you. Fight back as best you can. Go, as I've said this all before, locally, you can get a consult, usually free, from an attorney or your state bar. Go there, ask for somebody, get help. There's always someone at least talk to you. And then if you come out and rally you need a few $100, whatever it is, to get that lawyer to file the document, and you're not getting it, you hit me up. I will promote it heavily to ensure that all you creators have at least that initial nest egg to fight back, because it is so imperative we stand together. So please, if you have it, DM me anonymously, whatever. Trust me, I don't give up my sources. I hope I'm proving that, Nate, to everybody in the world. I have never given up my sources. Nate, again, cheers. Yeah, final thought.
Yes, and especially, and again, if you call them and say, hey, I'm still looking for an attorney, remember that those time frames are not stuck in stone. You can call them and say, hey, listen, I'm looking for an attorney. I need more time. I need more money. The lawyer's phone number is on the subpoena. What they're going to say, F you, right? Or like, I don't have the money to fight the subpoena,
that only helps your case.
Yes,
they tell you
because
the
judge is being unreasonable. Yes. A phone call doesn't cost you anything. What are you guys looking for? I need more time to find an attorney. I don't have the money for this. My finances are bad, right? You could don't let their timeline dictate your reality. So your reality, and the court knows that.
Everyone's allowed to say, I am recording this call for my own safety. This is an on-the-record call to ensure I'm not getting screwed by you or anybody else. Know your rules, know the rules, know the law, and protect yourself, everybody, and stand trial together. I'll be back in studio next week, but we got a lot coming your way. And yes, stay tuned to the docket. We will be responding. I love you, Nate. You good?
Yes.
Cheers to everybody. Shout out to Kim behind the scenes. We got a lot more coming your way. A lot of bank stuff with special guests you're not going to miss. So stay tuned. In the meanwhile, Gifts and Go. If you want to really piss off Blake Lively and attorneys, let's get that slush fund even higher. Because man, I shame on them. Shame.
Hey Blake, you know they're watching, so we're gonna. This is probably gonna be the next one.
Ryan, how
Ryan.
Ryan? How dare you, Ryan?
They're watching.